Hey guys, good morning. We're in Tish's kitchen. This is Prayers of the Day in Tish's kitchen. And Tish is behind this screen. And if she feels so drawn to, she will speak. See, I was trying to get her to do that. She spoke. Where's the camera? Camera's right there. So we look at the camera for when you do decide to be on screen. Camera's right there, like that. When we look at the camera, people feel that.
Tish gave me a gift the other day. It says alive.
And
Came from Africa, from
Come
Elias.
from Africa.
from who?
Eliasu,
Eliasu is who?
a boy I take care of, and he makes them.
And he's all the way in Africa. How long have you been taking care of him?
He's in Ghana.
He's in Ghana.
10 years. I helped send him to school and help feed him, basically.
So when you message him, you've always referred to him as your son.
Yeah, he's like my son.
There you go.
So
He
he
calls
made
me Mom.
these. Cool. Feel it.
Alive.
Alive.
It's alive. Also, I'm going to be reading all of the things because some of us are audio and visual learners, like me and Tish. Other people are able to process more audibly. So to be fair to Damian, who's an audible learner, I'm going to be reading these. And if you feel like reading, this is the book Malia gave me. So if you want to look at August 17th. Do you feel like reading August 17th for us? It's really short. Jesus Calling. Tish, get you involved.
Sure, let me find it while you're talking.
Okay, cool. Oh no, it already has a thingy.
Oh, maybe you didn't check.
It's set and ready to go. So this is Jesus Calling by this is Tish. Houston Bros. Go, ma'am.
Find in me in the midst of the maelstrom. Sometimes events whirl around you so quickly they become a blur. Whisper my name in recognition that I am still with you. Without skipping a beat in the activities that occupy you, you find strength and peace through praying my name. Later, when the happenings have run their course, you can talk with me more fully. Accept each day just as it comes to you. Do not waste your time and energy wishing for a different set of circumstances. Instead, trust me enough to yield to my design and purposes. Remember that nothing can separate you from my loving presence. You are mine. Philippians 2:9-11 and Isaiah 43:1.
Ow! Thank you. What does that make you feel like? Any thoughts on that, Miss Tish?
The plan is the plan, and I just have to trust
I just
it.
need you to speak a little. Thank you.
The plan is the plan, and I just have to trust it, no matter if it has a ripple or a wave or I just have to trust that it will come back and be as planned.
Right. And the swirl thing is what caught my ear. No matter how busy you get or whatever, like sometimes we try to do too much. Like yesterday, I was supposed to go visit some friends in Raven Rock, then go visit some friends over at 3 Points, and then I was supposed to like pay back my friend Jamie, and I was like, and in the midst of all this transition and being in different place and different vibes and all the awesomeness that we're doing, and just a regular day of work and play and fellowship, I forgot all sorts of things, and I went into condemnation about it, and then for a second there, because I'm like, how did I, how can I not handle all the things I want to handle? And yet all I had to do was rest in the moment that I was in, and had a beautiful evening. We chopped, we were on this counter chopping up, it was 4 of us chopping a bunch of freaking awesomeness to make, what was it, Tish?
Peach salsa.
Peach salsa. And so, and we just rested in that moment and that sort of fellowship and beauty. And then this morning when I remembered, I didn't even pay Jamie back and all this other stuff. And then it was like, by the time I just rested in the prayer, and you said, well, Dad's gonna figure it out. You knew my intent was not ill. I just got caught up with too much going. And what I'm doing is all groovy, so there's nothing is effed here, man. Nothing is effed here. So right out of that shower, Gracie was able to be like, oh, if you help me out with this, I'll help you out with that. I can pay Jamie off, and da 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 da. And then you opened up the house for some of our friends to visit, and they're happy about it. So it's like all things will work out once we continue through our day in good intent and not fall into like condemnation because my intent was right. I just over committed. or whatever, or the day just led to a different thing. So that's what brought to mind when you were talking about your day spinning around you. It's just stay in prayer, stay in, and what does that mean? Also stay in grace. Like, oh my gosh, what a wonderful moment I'm in right now. Do I need to really escape out of it to accommodate other things I feel I need to do? Or can I just really enjoy in this moment and start to learn not to promise things where I don't know where my day's going to lead? Some nice friend told me about that. I think it was you. Try not to make promises, right?
Yeah, I'm practicing that myself, not making promises. Because why? Because every time I make an agreement or a promise, then the Spirit leads me elsewhere, and I'm like, damn, I shouldn't have said that, I shouldn't have done that, and then I'm in shame and guilt trying to work out, okay, I hope they don't hold an account on that. But it's not about them, it's about me not holding account on myself and not making those promises and being in the will of the Father, which is whatever direction and whatever purpose is played out for a reason. There's never not a reason for things not to happen or to happen. And so that's how I'm like, all right, so I've got to practice this shit.
And that's cool, because we were talking about that this morning when you were saying, like, were certain experiences necessary? And Tish had some good stuff to say about it. It's like, was that all that energy invested in that necessary? And we talked about it because it's different points of view on that. Like, and I spoke about, like, when I first lived here, I was in a state of, oh my gosh, like, what am I even doing here? Like, how am I allowed here? Like, this is such a great family. I don't belong here. This isn't my family. They're so great, but they're not my family. You know, it was that state of, like, whatever. So when I left, it wasn't because they said, hey, Jeanette, get going. It was like, I left and ran to Hopi because I was like, I need to find my own place and my own spot, and I have no one now except the Father, and I'm going to go find my own, whatever the next thing is going to be, because, hi, Molly, because the love that I found here initially, I was like, I'm not worthy. It's not mine. And now, having spent all that experience, that a lot of people could say very realistically and matter of factly, well, yeah, well, that was a bit of a waste of time, was it? And yet, no. And I can only testify to that, because now that I am, for many, many, many reasons, and we all have our individual walk, I always stayed in grace because the Father always took such good care of me through it all. And of course, you learn through adversity. But the biggest thing for me in regards to that this morning, as that was revealed to me, is like, I'm back here and I'm like so happy to be home. And I recognized that when we were talking this morning, it's like, I'm happy to be home. Like, the people that I'm hanging out with here make me feel I can be myself, support me in myself, and it's easy as pie to do the same back to them. That's home.
Home is where the heart is. So wherever your heart is, could be anywhere, as long as the people that are there love you, right? That's where you feel like your heart is.
Where you can be yourself, where you can be accepted, where you can grow and be nourished and have enough. Because when you're in a place where you're in struggle, and yeah, it'll make you stronger. It'll make you stronger, and it'll make you more sovereign. But guys, it's so beautiful because it's the same house, it's the same family than a year ago. But now I'm like, I feel at home. I feel worthy. I accept that I'm in the same vibration now, here, where a year ago, a year and a half ago, however long it was ago that I first got here, I was like, I'm not worthy, I'm not worthy, I'm not worthy. Like, what can I do to I better get out of here before they get sick of me. It was all this thing. And now it's like, I don't know, for whoever that may be out there, it's like, as you go through your struggle, just know that it may not make a lot of sense at the time. And some people may justifiably say, was that worth it, or was that a waste of time? It's like, it's always, if your intent is one to seek the Father, regardless of anything else. If your intent is to seek the Father, anything around it will be worked. 2 moments like I had this morning where we're like, I'm so glad to be home and to feel worthy to be here. Why? Because here I can just be Jeanette, and I'm accepted, and I'm supported, and I get to grow, and my existence here in this space is apparently is nourishing others that are here. How does it get better than that? That's family. That's family, guys. Seek it.
Forgiveness just popped into my heart. So I was like just thinking about when I'm practicing not holding an account first on myself and forgiving myself, then practicing not holding on others. They're free to be at will, and if you don't hold, it helps me by practicing this within myself. It helps me see outwards that I have to allow the freedom of people's growth and change within themselves outwards, and any unexpected turns I can't hold an account because I'm practicing within myself not to hold an account. So you're forgiving in that sense. So when someone's trajectory changes and it's like, oh, but I was going to do this and they were going to do this and I was going to be over there and we were going to, and all these plans change, by practicing within myself helps me forgive and understand the truth of what's happening in that person, so there's no account held, and you just allow them to take their course and do whatever it is that the Father wills them in their heart, and then you can assist in that by prayer, love, sending frequencies. Just knowing this is becoming the frequency of love, so it's a beautiful thing.
And that whole setting frequencies is also cutting cords. Another way of visually looking at it, energetically looking at it, just for who may understand it better that way. When you're sitting there and you have anxiety or something, like I did last night when I was like, oh, I was supposed to do this, and now I'm disappointing people, and now I'm an asshole. Like I was like, but I don't, but I need to. Well, if instead I go into the happy place where the moment is peaceful, instead of anxiety that I'm sending out because I'm thinking about individuals, I'm sending out anxiety to them. How is that loving? And I'm destroying my peace in the process. So it's a lose-lose. What would be a win-win was going, hey, I'm going to send them literally, visually, I'm going to share this moment with them. I'm going to have a good moment. I'm going to share it with them like as if they were here with me. And if I'm feeling negative energy coming at me or confusing energy, I'm just gonna be like, what was it earlier? Okay, you know how on Messenger when you get the little pop-up thing and it's like a little thing and it pops up like a little pop-up message face, and then you don't have time to read it right now, or you don't want to read it right now, or ever, I don't know, depending on who it is, you can just go bloop.
Bloop. Just for now.
Just for now.
Down your little cross.
Just do that, and then find your peace, and then send that energy out.
Yes, because if we don't fill up our virtue and our peace and our forgiveness and merciful hearts, then we're not going to be able to give out anything that's of quality, that's of value, that's of truth. And so sometimes, and allowing each other to be able to bloop.
Because you might both be in a negative space or might be in opposite spaces or whatever. I mean, and let's be real, sometimes you feel something coming at you, you're like, and so just like you have the right to sovereignly and should strive to find peace before you connect with others and be in a good place, whether it's actually physically next to them or just even having them in your thought, because if they're in your thought, you're energetically connected. So you're actually sharing each other's energy through those cords, energetic cords. So you could just be like, if you can even cut them if you really want to get into that. Maybe we'll get into that another time. But yeah, just loop until if that energy that you feel is coming at you, it's okay to cut it off and be like, I'm not dealing with this right now because I don't like how it feels and I don't like where the space is taking me. And then boom, when you're in a higher vibration or in a balanced place, what does that mean? When you're like, everything's cool, I'm actually living in the moment right now, so I can actually look at this person and deal with this person in the now, regardless of anything that happened in the past, anything you might be, your mind or your ideas, your assumptions might be thinking is happening. Well, until you're balanced enough to go, I'm just going to go see this person, or I'm going to talk to this person, or I'm going to interact with this person, or I'm going to deal with this thing, until you're in a non-offensive way, non-offensive way, non-judgmental, non-reactive way, where it's just like, I'm going to hope for the best, and here we go. Hope that made sense. Now we're going to do August 17th. Are you discouraged or devoted? Jesus said to him, Yeshua said to him, you will lack one thing. You still lack one thing. Sorry, I'm hearing my doggy barking. And
I was going to say, that wasn't me moaning,
No,
that
bro.
was the dog.
Dexter's trying to integrate. He's a very
Tish.
small dog. They got very large dogs
Settle
here.
down.
So you're like, Tish, come on.
Who's sending out those frequencies?
Wait a minute. Are you discouraged or devoted? And this is from the quote I'm about to read is from Luke 18:22, verse 22 through 23. Jesus, Yeshua, said to him, "You still lack one thing. Sell all that you have and come follow me." How many things did you burn? Okay, wait. But when he heard this, he became very sorrowful, for he was very rich. Have you ever heard the master say something very difficult to you? If you haven't, I question whether you have ever heard him say anything at all. Yeshua says a tremendous amount to us that we listen to, but do not actually hear. I'm going to say that again. Yeshua says a tremendous amount to us that we listen to, but do not actually hear. And once we do hear him, his words are harsh and unyielding. That's a fact. You know, some things we can go about, Father's a loving father and he would never. Really? You're stuck in a matrix. You're being programmed your entire life by a system that's systematically, enormously, tremendously good at its job. So when Yeshua says something to you that is harsh and unyielding so that you can know thyself as the Father made you and recognize that, holy crap, all this muckety muck on me and that I've been wielding around isn't me. It's the programs that have been put inside me, unbeknownst to me, that have been controlling me. That's going to be a harsh reality, and that has to be an unyielding reaction to it. Will have to be a tremendous, like, oh my goodness, I did not know myself, but now I see it, and now I will change. That is not an easy process, but it is damn well one you have to get through. So yeah, words will be actually, and once we do hear him, his words are harsh and unyielding. And by the way, when you hear those harsh and unyielding words to yourself, you will not ever consciously, and when you catch yourself doing it, you'll be like, stop it, Jeanette, or stop, stop it. You'll tell yourself to stop it. And what am I talking about? When you start being harsh or unyielding to others, then that harsh and unyieldingness, you may have heard it, but you didn't actually process it for yourself. Because if you knew of that about yourself, you would just be in sympathy and compassion and guarded against others that were in that field where they thought that they could be harsh and unyielding to others.
Yeah, the truth is, like, to me, a slap in the face. And so it's sweet to the tongue, bitter to the belly. Slap in the face, and then once it becomes bitter and you understand and you're awakening, then all of a sudden the loving spirit comes in to guide, comfort, and protect you through that process. And I find that in myself, or I find that the process is the conviction and understanding the conviction of the spirit when you're convicted, and instead of trying to run from it or get rid of it, oh, that's just too much for me, just go into a place of rest, put it on a shelf, sit back, find some peace, and
Hi, Mark.
hey, Mark.
Say hi to the peeps.
Hey peeps.
There we go.
What's up?
What's up?
Yeah, so find some rest and allow that conviction to sink in and work it out what it is within yourself that makes you feel that way. And if it's a truth, it will stay. If it's not, it will just disappear. And so that's the same as giving each other that freedom to learn this in each other's space. And
I see everything that Christ said that way, that you, I guess, described as like harsh, is that he is out of the system. So he knows what it takes and what he has to say to get you out of it.
Thank you.
And that's why it's harsh, because he's
Because it
like,
ain't gonna be easy.
yeah, he's like, I could hold my hand out and you could maybe take my hand and I could guide you out, but that's not gonna
That's
work.
not going to work for
It's
Not
the
if
myself.
it's
system.
sustainable.
It's what you
he's
said.
teaching you to do it.
The system is just what you said, really, really good at its job, and that's why it has to be it has to be a yank.
Yep, so learning this process as we go and teaching ourselves in spirit.
It's fully loaded. Yes. And the other thing that you said that I really liked was that you were talking about protection, and that's kind of what I was getting at earlier too. There's a time and space where the protection, it's not that you're not being compassionate. It's not that you're not trying to wish you could help. Of course you wish you could have the right words for all of your friends. Of course you wish you could give them a written out plan. This is how you fix this, or this is how you're going to get to that place that you said you wanted to be, that you're striving to be, or you told me your heart, and I was like, okay, well, let me write it out here. You follow these directions and you're good. It's not how it works.
In 5 easy steps. Yeah, that song. Yeah, no, that's not how it works.
That's not how it works. And so, and I think part of my issue is, one of the things that I'm recognizing is where I want to push myself in one direction and then things don't work out in that direction. And then I'm recognizing more and more now being around where I clearly was led to be at. Hey, you're supposed to be here doing your own sovereign journey. And all you can do sometimes is protect yourself. Not go against, not try to fix, not try to separate, not try to go in there and maybe fix it, but just be like, no, I'm good. I'm good here. My journey's good. My job is to continue on my sovereign journey, and that's all I have to worry about. And the Father is the one who will bring us all together as we should be, naturally and easily, and that's when we will be sharpening yourselves, not forcing it. When Father wills it, it's just so magical. It's just like, boom, how did this happen? How did we get here? How is everything working out? How is everybody getting along? We matched frequencies.
His timing is always perfect.
His timing is
Absolutely.
My whole entire life, everything I would do, and I would think, oh, no, that's not right. My timing's, but, I'm going to do it. Nope, wrong. Every single time.
Yeah.
Every single time, his timing was perfect.
Wasn't that
And I was
field
wrong.
thing? It was
That's
the
that. I
field
was
thing.
wrong. I got. All right.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Hot diggity dog. I was wrong.
Do we depend on our own understanding again? Oh, shit.
Yeah, that's the thing, and this is the kingdom, and this is it. We come into this world alone, and we're going to leave it alone. And so, girding up our kingdom and protecting ourselves and armoring up is a beautiful thing, because we are on this journey. But individually, our kingdoms need to be protected. We need to armor them up and protect them, and
Not protect it against others, just protect it so we can stand in our own thing.
Yep, stand in our own truth and be in the attributes and the fruits of the Father or the fruits of the Spirit, and just do our best.
Let's do our best. Can we just all do our best? Yeshua did not show the least concern that this rich young ruler should do what he told him, nor did Jesus make any attempt to keep this man with him. He simply said to him, sell all that you have and come follow me. Our Lord never pleaded with him. He never tried to lure him. He simply spoke the strictest words that human ears have ever heard and then left him alone. Whew. That speaks for itself.
Powerful.
That speaks for itself. Have I ever heard Yeshua say something difficult and then yielding to me? Raise your hand if the answer is yes. All hands raised. Even the pups raise their paws. Has he said something personally to me, which I have deliberated? Okay, what's this word? Deliberately.
Yeah, deliberately.
It looked funny. Do you guys ever do that? The ADHD in you or the Spanglish in you just goes, wait a minute, ¿qué es eso? No lo entiendo. Okay, but something okay. Have I ever heard Jesus say something difficult and unyielding to me? Has he said something personally to me to which I have deliberately listened? Not something I can explain for the sake of others. Ho! Okay, now I see where that's going. I'm going to repeat that. Has he said something personally to me to which I have deliberately listened, nor not something I can explain for the sake of others? That says everything that I've been trying to say all day today. You can't explain your journey to others. And you can't try to, nor should you have to justify yourself to others for the journey that you're on. Your journey is a personal journey with the Father.
It's personalized from him.
Yeah. Do you, boo. And let other people do them. Not something I can explain for the sake of others, but something I have heard him say directly to me, question mark? So, I can explain for the sake of others, but something I have heard him say directly to me. This man understood that what Jesus said. He heard it clearly, realizing the full impact of its meaning, and it broke his heart. He did not go away as a defiant person, but as one who was sorrowful and discouraged. Like, he thought he could do it. He thought he was all about it. He was game on. I'm following you. And then he's like, well, this is what you got to do to it. And then he was like, I can't, but
I want to keep one foot in, can't I?
One in the system. I just wanted to apologize because I just said something and recollected what I said, record what I said. You come in, but the Father in us, you're never alone. So you come in alone.
Thank
in
you.
this
I
physical
felt
matrix,
weird when you said it too, but I was like,
in this physical matrix, and you go out of this physical matrix, but you're never alone because you are the Father. The spark of the Father is in you. It is in all of us, and so you're never alone. And this is the sovereignty. This is the learning.
Do you see the programming, y'all? Like, he caught himself really quickly. And I think I don't know if you felt it, but I felt it. I'm like, oh, that's what the Matrix teaches us.
I just went
That
Matrix.
we're alone.
Yeah.
I just went
but
Matrix
when I
for a
just
moment.
read in this,
Damn.
Yeah.
that did not make me feel alone. That made me feel like no
Loved.
matter what, he's
there.
gonna
He's
be
never
there.
been anywhere other than there.
Damn
He's been
Matrix.
ragged. So yeah,
Get out of my head.
self-correct as quickly as possible, guys.
Welcome to the Matrix.
Welcome to the
Have
Matrix.
a seat. Have a seat. It's like walking in the doctor's office. Welcome to the Matrix. Have a seat.
He did not go away as a defiant person, but as one who was sorrowful and discouraged. He had come to Jesus on fire with zeal and determination, but the words of Jesus simply froze him. Instead of producing enthusiastic devotion to Jesus, they produced heartbreaking discouragement. Raise your hand if you've been there. You looked very Nazi right there. No, the camera's over here.
No,
Over
over here.
there.
Yeah, there it is.
Instead of producing enthusiastic devotion to Jesus, it produced a heartbreaking discouragement. We had to be reborn. We had to have those growing pains. We had to remember that all the what's it called? I've been saying it all week. Codependency that you have to the Matrix has to be acknowledged and then worked for your own advancement as best you can, because to completely break out of it unprepared and unspiritually sound, man, is the devil going to have a field day with you.
Yeah, trust in no one, trust in no man, just trust in the Father alone.
And
So
he'll lead.
depend on
And he will
the
lead.
Spirit.
And they will lead. They will lead. And
Wherever it may be.
and it'll be like,
Be in joy when you're led there.
yeah. It's and Jesus did not go after him, but let him go. Ugh. Our Lord Lord knows perfectly well that once His word is truly heard, it will bear fruit sooner or later. So persevere. What is so terrible is that some of us prevent His word from bearing fruit in our present life. Bearing fruit in our present life could be because we were too busy like trying to make our own decision, or trying to just sway other people in a certain direction, or we were too busy making our own plans instead of seeing the flags and following in the light. Pay attention to those red flags. Protect yourself. Follow that light, and it will be a smoother ride. It will be. My life is a testament to it in the last year and a half.
It's the book of Jeanette.
The book of Jeanette.
The Gospel of
What
Jeanette.
about the Gospel of Damian? What about the Gospel of
The
Tish?
Gospel of Tish.
Something her brother said earlier this week that was really, we're like,
I need myself a scribe.
Working on. I wonder what we will say when we finally make up our minds to be devoted to Him. To Him on that particular point. One thing is certain, He will never throw our past failures back in our faces.
No guilt, no accounts.
I want to say that again. He will never throw our past mistakes in our faces. Our past failures in our faces. And lastly, we have God's moment. August 17th. And they continued steadfastly in prayer. Acts 2:42. Gracious Lord, we bring thee anew this day that praise of our lips and the worship of our hearts. We bless thee for the care of our bodies, for the guarding of our minds, and for the delight of our awakened spirits in thyself. We confess we have not merited even the least of thy mercies, because they were already given to us, right? We just denied them. And yet our lives are crowned each day with innumerable tokens of thy infinite love. Wilt thou beget within us a new humility, a deepened sense of our dependence, and a fuller surrender to thy will? Father, please, I pray, you continue to do that on a daily, hourly, minute-to-minute basis. Give us the peace which springs from a constant sense of Christ's infinite sacrifice. Give us the sanctity of a life which is the fruit of his indwelling. Give us the power through thy Holy Spirit to serve and honor thee by honoring ourselves and each other. And when we do that, I mean, like the way this house is always on the run. There's so many people here. You have such a beautiful big family. And we work together. We work together. And nobody has to be poking at anybody else to do it. We just naturally do our own thing, and it works out really good together. When you find those spaces, that's your grace. That's your rest. That's your live the abundant life. Don't let anybody in the rest of the world or your own guilt tripping make you want to walk away from that.
And there is no leader, because everyone's working in sovereignty of themselves. So everybody's leading themselves, but with a giving hand and not letting this one know.
And these are
It is
the owners of the property.
That's where the saying came from, too many chiefs and none of Indians.
Yeah,
Well,
too many
the actual
chessboards
chief
for
and the
the boss.
actual what would be the chief's wife? The chief and the chief wife. The chiefs of the house.
Hefe.
The jefes of the house, the bossmans of the house.
Yeah.
You guys are incredibly gracious. You, as long as we don't annoy them. And what would annoy them? What would annoy you?
Yeah, they got guns over here.
No, okay.
Not like Australia.
And a bunch
Welcome
of
to
dogs.
Arizona.
A bunch of dogs, chickens.
Lots of dogs and chickens. We gotta get more chickens. Help us to walk in the spirit of constant prayer, to increasingly delight in thy holy word, to love to love one another, and to have some part in bringing the light of the gospel to those in the darkness, which is our prayer here today. We've been having incredible conversations, and that's why I'm like, Tish, please come on board. Damian, please come on board. Because this is what we find in the fellowship that we have on the daily, and it's such a gift, and we accept it as such a gift that and I'm grateful that you all agreed to do these videos with me so that we could share that for the people out there that need confirmation or need just encouragement or need
Plant
to
the seed,
plant
it will
the seed.
yield
And
fruit.
allow the Father to grow it,
Yeah.
to water it.
This
Yeah.
is our testimonies, right? This is
This
us
is our
doing our
purpose
job.
right now and right here. It might be different in 10 minutes, but this is the purpose.
But right now,
For me, anyway.
we're gonna be planting trees in a minute.
Right
Literally,
now.
like 50 trees. Is there really 50 trees?
Yeah.
We're gonna be
probably
planting
about that.
50 trees. We'll maybe do a video on that just because, I mean, come on, we're planting seeds? No, we're planting trees!
Trees, man. Nearly
No.
full-grown trees.
The holy word, to love one another and to have some part in bringing the light of the gospel to those in the darkness. In the midst of the confusion and the stress of earth, and we're going to give Mama a little less stress, Mama Gaia, because we're going to be planting some more trees for her. May our souls rest in thine own perfect calm, and may we be able to comfort those in trouble with the comfort wherewith we are comforted of God. So in other words, exactly what we just said, share comfort with others as it's been given to us. We ask all in Yeshua's name. Aho! And thank you, huge That was his name. Huge. Huge R. Monroe from New York, New York. Love you guys. Anybody want to say goodbye?
Bye. Love you.
Namaste.
Namaste. Follow. What was the? What you asked me? What my tagline for my thing was?
Yeah.
Follow the way. Seek the truth.
Seek the truth. Live
and
the
live
life.
the life. I love you guys. We'll see you later.